but there's like so much waste out there here. I mean, folks know this when they talk about what's happening with federal budgets. I mean, look at what DOGE identified with just wasteful billions of dollars getting sent across the globe for who knows what. Trying to rein that in, because at the end of the day, this is the people's money, and we see this national debt. That is a big issue. I mean, Moody's just downgraded the solvency of the country because of this, because of runaway spending, and it's a national debt that our children and our grandchildren are going to have to pay, and we have to be serious about this. And guess what else we have to do? We have to extend the Trump tax cuts, because that's going to be the thing to keep moving us forward. Energy independence, resuming the drilling of oil, getting it moving through the pipelines, making us an energy exporter. You do those things, you help in your GDP. I mean, this bill is well thought out. There may be some tweaks that are made in the final hours.
Let me follow up. Let me follow up on two things. Okay, I'm going to get to Moody's in just a second, but work requirements. Why not put the work requirements into effect now? Because they wouldn't go into effect until 2029.
I think they ought to be in effect sooner than 2029. But there is going to need to be some time for, once it's put in place, to allow the states to be able to implement it, because they're going to have to go back on those folks, and the ones that fit in that criteria, make sure that they, first of all, get notice that they have work requirements, and then come through the process of how to implement it. So it's the kind of thing you can't just turn on a dime. So they need to have some time to get that done. So that's probably the biggest reason. But I do believe that waiting to 2029, that we ought to probably do it a little sooner than that if we possibly can.
Noted. All right. So for the third time in American history, the U.S. credit rating has been downgraded. You just mentioned this. Moody's lowering that rating because of the rising national debt. So something it says will only get worse if this bill passes and those 2017 tax cuts become permanent. You mentioned the tax cuts as well. Trump ran on cutting spending and reducing our debt. Aren't you worried if this bill passes, it could just balloon the debt and lead to even more economic instability?
Actually, no, with this passing, it actually finally slows that down. It's going to be the first time that anyone around here is actually taken seriously about trying to deal with the national debt. And so what it will do is it will reduce the rate of growth right now. If we don't do this, Kara, it just keeps going up incrementally. What will also happen when we pass this bill, because remember, this is not a static environment, is that the GDP should increase. We've seen clearly that when you cut these kinds of taxes, when you make targeted tax cuts like the TCJA, you inspire more economic activity. I mean, probably if I had to pick one of those things, probably the energy independence. I mean, the fact that we would start getting revenue from energy, from exploration, from exporting it, whereas we are spending billions of dollars every year buying oil, buying energy, frankly, from a lot of countries that don't like us. And so that is going to go a long way to actually fixing that, because the GDP will start going up. That'll ease the pressure. Then you can see more funds get put in to paying the debt. And remember, this is just for 1 year right now, right? I want to see us next year build on that. Really lean in with those DOGE cuts where they found all this waste, and really try to keep trimming the fat. Get services to people who need them, but get rid of the waste that's out there.
There are critics out there, though, and that are putting estimates as much as $3.3 trillion could be added to the national debt. Would you vote for this bill if it actually adds to the national debt?
So if I did not see this bill being something that long-term is going to work to get rid of the national debt, no, I wouldn't vote for it. But this bill does that. But it's a process. Look, we didn't get into this mess overnight. The last 4 years were really bad under Joe Biden. But frankly, this has been a problem that has been in the development for decades. And this Congress is taking it seriously to finally get a handle on it. But guess what? We can't fix 30 years, if you want to say that, 30 years of runaway spending in one cycle. But it's a commitment to move forward. And I got to tip my hat to Speaker Johnson, to Chairman Arrington on the Budget Committee for really the work that they've done to help make this a central issue. That seems to be one thing that our entire conference is united on. The president's united on it. The question is sometimes how you get there. And, I practiced law before I came here. And so folks talk about, this side's not happy of the conference and this side's not happy. Sometimes you have a good deal when some of the sides are equally unhappy, right? I mean, that's where we are. But this is, in my opinion, it's a great thing. You mentioned North Carolina. Look, I've had some experience back when I was in the legislature where we turned around a state that was upside down. We owed the federal government $4 billion, unemployment out through the roof, going in all the wrong directions. Fast forward to now, we have a budget surplus. We're one of the fastest growing states in the country, and we did it through fiscal discipline, reducing taxes, reducing spending and controlling spending, and reducing regulations. Those are the kinds of things that we're seeing here finally happen at the federal level, and guess what? It'll produce the same good results.